Hi guys, welcome to my movie fan channel. My name's Tyler. Today's review is going to be for The Mandalorian, Episode 6, Prisoner. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below, hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. That way you get alerts to when I post a new video. This is probably my favorite episode. In this episode, Mando takes a job with an old friend, and they're looking to bust somebody out of jail. So that's another like Western trope that they do that came into play in this series. The old friend is played by Mark Boone Jr., who is probably best known for being in Sons of Anarchy, and I loved him in Sons of Anarchy, so I've seen him there. I was like, yeah. Bill Burr is also in it. He's one of my favorite comedians nowadays, and he is great, by the way. Maybe the best part of the episode. If you would have told me Bill Burr is going to be in Star Wars, I'd be like, what the hell? Why? But it works. And if you would have told me he's one of the best parts of it, I would have been like, get the hell out of here. I would have fell out of my chair, dude, but he is. He's that good in it. And he comes on screen, and right away we get a stormtroopers can't aim for shit joke. Bill Burr says wise ass in Star Wars, which is something, I guess. And then he drops a Canto Blight reference, all within like 30 seconds. Clancy Brown does a voice of Devarian, which is a species that is in the cantina with the horns, looks like a devil in A New Hope, and is also the species that Vizago is in Star Wars Rebels, the animated show. This is a badass character. I can't wait to see him again. It was cool that he was actually playing it too. He does a lot of voice acting work. He was actually Surtur's voice in Thor Ragnarok, which I just reviewed the other day up on my channel now. Natalia Tena is also a part of the crew. She's from Harry Potter and is one of the wildlings in Game of Thrones. She is a Twi'lek, which is cool, and she's kind of like a crazy person, has a history with Mando. I love this gang and their banter. Even the droid is cool. Bill Burr is giving some good jokes in this, and not just good Star Wars jokes. These are like funny lines. The joke about Mando being a Gungan and he's like, miso, whatever he says, is hilarious, because if you know A New Hope and you know kind of the Star Wars fandom and you know what he's referencing in Jar Jar, you're like, that's good. But just to give that line to Bill Burr and the way he delivers it is great. His character is such a dick, too. He like threatens to drop Baby Yoda at one point, and you're like, oh my god, I want to knock this guy out. The droid that I mentioned earlier, he like announces his dangerous maneuvers like 30 seconds before they happen. You have no time to prepare for it. He's just like, turning now, and ship will go flying. He was great, too. It had a lot of funny moments, but this episode was pretty badass. People were getting beat up and shit in this, and they were busting guys out of jail. When they get on the New Republic prison transport ship that they're breaking the prisoner out of, there's a mouse droid, which is an Easter egg to all the other Star Wars movies, New Hope especially. There's all these like guard droids, and Mando kills them all by himself because Bill Burr's like, basically, let's see what this guy's got. If he dies, he dies, because we're just going to leave him here anyway, which you see at the end of the episode. There's a New Republic trooper in the control room of the ship, which they thought was all just droids and no people, but he's actually played by Matt Lantern from the Clone Wars. He is the voice of Anakin Skywalker. There's a really cool scene that when the team betrays Mando, he gets out of the cell by overtaking one of the guard droids and using like its arm to pick the lock, which was interesting. At this point, Mando takes over the control room of the ship, and the whole ship is bathed in like this red light, which makes for awesome action scenes. It's a really menacing thing too, because he's going through killing them like Michael Myers. Really gave you horror movie vibes, which was awesome. He's going through attacking guys like Rambo and stuff, like moving in the shadows. He attacks Clancy Brown character, and you assume that he's dead. It's implied that he's dead. It looks like he got his head cut off. They don't show that, but you're like left to assume that until the end of the episode, and they show that that whole crew, minus the droid, is still alive, which I'm glad for, because I can't wait to see them in season 2 if they are, or to come back into play at some point in the series. I'm glad that Bill Burr's character is still alive, and we get to see the whole gang in the future, hopefully back together. At the end of the episode, when the X-Wing pilots show up, they are played by 3 of the directors of episodes of the first season of The Mandalorian. Dave Filoni is one of them. Rick Famuyiwa is the other. Deborah Chow plays the third one, which was awesome to see that little Easter egg and for me to know who they are, to be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Dave Filoni's name is something Wolf because the dude just loves wolves, but it was interesting that they were like, hey, let's get in the X-Wings and we'll film this little cameo. I like this episode a lot. I like when they have like a closed contained space. It felt very much like Alien, the first Alien movie, Ridley Scott directed Alien, where they're on this vessel and it's locked down and the crew's trapped in there with a monster because Mando's like the monster. He's moving in the dark and they don't know where he is, and there's a lot of panic, and it feels really claustrophobic. And I like that, especially in like the action scenes, because he's like fighting guys and how he's taking out the robots. It was a lot of like John Wick fight choreography, and that was interesting. They don't do a ton of that in a lot of other Star Wars material, and Mandalorian seems to be doing a lot of that. He gets really physical. He has to fight in predicaments without his blaster. Obviously, he doesn't have a lightsaber, but he has to come up with other means of taking out enemies sometimes, and that's happened throughout season 1. So it was real interesting that he got to do it in this hallway in a little small, contained setting for this episode, and then to just have super dynamic characters as even the side minor characters, like Bill Burr's character, like Clancy Brown's. That was awesome, and that really added to the show. And like I said, I hope they come back in a later season because they're already established now. A lot of people liked them, and I think a lot of people recognize this as one of the better episodes of the show. You kind of knew what was happening, and it is a little side mission, but once again, it does a lot for Mando's character, where you see how he feels about trusting people, who he can trust. He looks at his relationships different with the people in his life. So it really changes his character, and he grows a little bit, and it is an awesome kick-ass side mission just on its own. So this episode, I think, is one of the best of the series, one of my favorite. Let me know what you guys thought down below, and give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Like I said in the beginning, share it around to Facebook, Twitter, all different social medias. Hit subscribe, and that way you get caught up on all our stuff that we have to offer. You see new videos when they drop, and you can participate in the film fan community and talk movies with us. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.